Hey there, guys, and welcome to an EPF interview with the winners of the Tech Awards that we had last year in November. So today we're in through OmniSecure, Girl Code, and there's one more person that we haven't interviewed yet, but we are interviewing him today. He's Loyiso. He is an ICT Chamber member, if I'm correct in saying so.
That's correct. I'm the MD.
He's the MD, Managing Director. That's what it means, right? So a little bit about him. He studied at BSc Information Technology at UCT. He attained postgraduate certification from UNISA and Gibbs, namely MDP and MPE, respectively. Loyiso has also been awarded a number of IT industry-related certificates in the field of IT, including the award that we had last year. He was awarded, I'm trying to remember your award now.
It's a lifetime award.
Lifetime award. It was so grand and everything. I just being so busy, but it was a life grand award. So starting off, how does one actually end up in the ICT chambers? Do you it was like via connections, or did you work away from the bottom to the top?
No, so I started working like normal, studying from a network engineer at BCX. Up to, I think by the time I left BCX, I was the assistant to the CTO. Took some time off to do politics, went back to BCX, I think around 2010. I then joined Anglo in 2011. I was in Anglo for a couple of years. I started as an ISM, left as the service delivery manager for global operations of Anglo Platinum. After that, I then took VSP to start my own business. I didn't go straight into IT. I had clubs. I owned a Capello. I owned a Postnet store, which I still own. It's a franchise. Did a whole lot of other things. After a while, I went back into IT and focused on my own IT company, which is called Future Business Consulting. It's within that space that I then joined the ICT SMME Chamber alongside the leader then, who was the chair of the chamber, Muzi Makaye, who sadly passed away 2 years ago. After that, but I was already MD, he was the chair, I was MD already. So within a year or so being in the chamber, the members felt that I should lead it. After that, we also started Samdra. I'm not sure whether you know Samdra, and the awards actually speak to that mainly. And Samdra is the South African Mobile Device Distributors and Repairers Association. Again, it was chaired by Muzi initially,
but then you took over that project.
After Muzi has passed away, then I'm currently the chair of Samdra. And what we do, we train young people on fixing mobile devices, but not only train them. So we train them, we get funding from MICT, CETA, and other government institutions, but we take them through an entrepreneurial training, which is done by CEDA. And after that, we have CIFA to basically end the part and make sure that they run their own businesses. So the whole aim there is to make sure that we can take someone from wherever, we train them up, both in business and technically, and they're able to go have their shops afterwards, and we support them even after that. So that's what we do at Samdra. Samdra was formed by the ICT SMME Chamber. So that's really in the nutshell what I do in the two organizations, except for the own company that I run. But I also serve in a number of boards, government ones, MICT, CETA, Broadband Infraco. So that's it in the nutshell.
Before I carry on to my question about the Tech Awards and how it positively impacts you, I just want to take us back a little bit to your statement that you just made. You said you were in politics. Were you in politics for like a long standing, or were you like just like there in and out?
No, it was not a long standing. I don't think I'm cut out to be a politician. What happened at the time, it was, if you remember the transition when Thabo Mbeki was removed as president, we really felt as mainly young people. At the time, I was a member of BMF, Black Management Forum. And we had a grouping of what was called at the time, what is it called? It's called Young professionals. Yes, so it was a young professionals sort of grouping within EMF. That grouping felt that the country was going in the wrong direction. I think we were proven right, actually. We then started organizing ourselves. We put up a website called In Defense of Our Democracy.
Just on that statement where you guys were that young and you guys saw the country going in the wrong direction, do you still see that, or do you feel like there's still some hope left to like reverse everything to make it actually?
There's always hope left. You lose hope, you're dead. It's never. Look, I think since then, if you look at any number from 2007, everything is still going downwards. So hence I'm saying,
yeah,
if you look at the stats, we were correct. However, there's hope. There's always hope, which is why we do what we do. Otherwise, we would not be doing anything. And we did try, and we formed COPE actually as a result of what happened then. We formed COPE. I was the head of IT for COPE, or head of technology.
Yeah.
And I was running the campaigns, especially in social media. So that was just a short stint, and we quickly learned that politicians are politicians, and they started fighting among themselves.
I mean, look, politicians will always be hungry lust.
Like, we ran away from the ANC to this. It's the same thing. We went back to the ANC and fight internal battles there. So, but I was never really a politician.
Oh, okay.
I'm always, look, I'm of the view that you cannot not be involved in the political process. If you're not, then the wrong people end up taking over the political process, and you have no right to complain at that point. So I am always engaged with the political process in one form or another, although personally I wouldn't take up a political office. I do believe I can. What I do now is
can it also have an impact?
Yes, and then we do, and I think we do make an impact. So that was my short stint in real politics, and I have bruises on my back, and I keep a close proximity, but not inside.
So I guess moving on to our final question for the interview is regarding to the Tech Award. Now you got a lifetime achievement, and granted, you actually earned it, in my opinion, with telling me your whole history of going from this job to being board member, and then ICT Chambers. But how did that impact you positively, and also did it impact your own business? Did it get your name out there, or how did it impact you positively?
So the one thing that happened immediately after that, there was quite a number of interviews, TV interview, SABC news channel, radio interviews. There's been quite a lot of them. The last one was actually Power FM, which was an hour-long interview with Power FM. So if the question is, did it get my name out there? Yes, obviously once you start having TV and radio interviews with stations like Mhlobo Wenene, Power FM, SABC, I think it was, another one was 702, which I couldn't make it, so I got somebody else. So once you get that type of interviews, IT Web, then yes, that's what it has done. But also it has also sort of cemented my own view that we were in the correct path, and that what we're doing actually does have impact, and that somebody is actually noticing. So we're joking today when we're sitting in the meeting, and I was saying to the guys, you've got a different me this year. You used to chase me last year, and I'm going to chase you for things to happen. And that's really what it does. It gives you that
motivation, that push.
And motivation to know that you are not walking in this journey by yourself. There are people who see what you're doing, they are noticing, and really what you are having is either beginning to have impact, or they see the potential of what you're doing, especially with some. I think that's the biggest thing that I'm busy with right now.
I think before we end, if you could just give like a very short sentence, any inspirational words to this African youth on how to, instead of focusing on the past, how to focus more on the future.
I don't think it would be just inspirational words, but one thing that I think I was saying to my colleagues earlier this week, that I'm going to spend this whole year on personal development. And one thing that I think in the ICT space, I've noticed, and I'm also reading a book, it was actually repeated, is that there's nothing called a learned person. You are either learning or you are stagnant, especially in the ICT space.
Yeah.
So the one thing that I think I've committed myself to is lifelong learning. And young people, especially going into the jobs of the future, things will be flexible. People need to be agile. In order for you to do that, means you need to first gain skills, real skills, not some degrees with papers.
Yeah.
Big respect for that, but you need to have real skills that you can actually use. Secondly, you need to be flexible. We need to be multi-skilled.
Yeah.
Thirdly, you need to know that you never stop learning. And learning is not just in the university through a degree or through a diploma. There's a lot of ways now that you can learn. Books, YouTube.
I mean, personally with me, I'm doing 2 courses. I'm going to do a third one on Udemy. It's not a shout or anything. It's just that's what I'm doing personally. And then also tell my interns and other colleagues here, like if you're working on a program, because we do a lot of editing over here, and we run into issues on Adobe and Illustrator. If we don't know what, we'll just take that prompt, put it in Google, and then learn from that mistake, and then go into the next thing. So I do agree with you that learning is highly important, but I think a lot of members or a lot of families, they still would like to see that, piece of paper saying you went to uni, you did this.
Yeah, you can do that. It's great. But the mindset, we've got a lot of people that once they get that paper, that degree, they think they're sitting or they're done. Once they get those honors, they simply stop. But you can actually tell the difference if you look at some of our colleagues that I was at university with. You can compare the ones that are continuously learning and those that once they set and they think they are learned. So for young people, just get it into your head. You'll never be learned. There's no such thing, especially in this 4IR environment. You need, especially in ICT, it's even worse there, and in the technology sector. If you are not continuously learning, if you're not continuously upgrading your skills or learning something new, you're stagnant. And sooner or later, you might find yourself irrelevant to at least some of us. So for me, it's encouraging the culture of lifelong learning, but also getting a number of skills and not only be doing one thing. Yes, it's good to specialize so that you're good at something, but you need to make sure that you augment that with other skills. Because, I don't want to scare a lot of people, but going into the future, jobs might not be the way they look like now. So
I mean, it slowly is turning
to happen.
It is turning into that.
It's happening already. So so mine is, it's a long time. I love lifelong learning, actively learning, whether formally, informally. It's the only way to go.
Well, thank you so much for coming on to the show, and thank you guys so much for watching. Keep a lookout for the other ones we're having. Again, this will be posted on social media and our YouTube channel. Please leave a comment, share the video, like it, and subscribe if you're on the YouTube channel. Follow if it's on LinkedIn. It is follow if it's on LinkedIn, right? Thanks. As you can tell, I use LinkedIn so often that I know the terms. But guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a good day. We'll see you in the next one.